Sometimes, the best games on your shiny new console are the ones old enough to legally rent a car. Welcome to our countdown of the 10 best retro games on PS5 and PS4, where polygons are chunky, stories are bonkers, and gameplay is tougher than your uncle's VCR settings. These golden oldies have crash-landed onto modern consoles, complete with nostalgia, smoother controls, and fewer blown cartridges. So get busy revisiting childhood memories or discovering why people yelled at CRTs. These classics still pack more punch than a caffeinated Sonic. So grab your DualSense and prepare to time travel through pixels, puns, and pure retro magic. Dino Crisis. Nothing says welcome to the lab like an angry T-Rex headbutting your helicopter and turning your team into prehistoric protein. You'll play as Regina, the red-haired super agent with sass and tranquilizer darts, sent to a mysterious island where the only thing more extinct than the facility's security system is subtlety. The gameplay serves up survival horror with a side of puzzle hell. Color-coded emergency boxes, DDK key disk decoding, and more locked doors than a locksmith's fever dream. Unlike some other horror games that relied on static backdrops, this one flaunts full 3D environments and AI dinos that are fast, smart, and violently clingy. You're constantly being hunted, and when the screen flashes danger, you better mash buttons like it owes you money. There's just enough ammo to make you feel like maybe, just maybe, you won't be Velociraptor Chow today. The story throws in government conspiracies, time-warped lizards, a rogue scientist who doesn't know how to stop tinkering with energy reactors, and multiple endings that let you decide who lives, who gets eaten, and who emails the boss after. Now updated with 4K resolution and gamepad support, it's not just a nostalgia trip, it's a panic attack in HD.
With pleasure.
These are the coordinates Ellis sent.
Over there.
Syphon Filter. 1 minute you're just chasing down a German bioterrorist, and the next you're stopping viral bombs in the middle of Washington, D.C. while dodging bullets, betrayal, and enough double crosses to fill an entire season of prestige TV. You play as Gabe Logan, basically what would happen if Ethan Hunt and Solid Snake had a baby raised on black coffee and late-night dossiers, who, along with his badass partner Lian Xing, dives into a world of espionage, viral warfare, and shady pharmaceutical cartels. Gameplay hands you all the essentials: third-person shooting, stealth missions, flashlight-based stress, and explosive gadgetry. 1 second you're sneaking through a dark alley in Nepal, and the next you're roasting a flamethrower-wielding lunatic in front of a national monument. The radar's always pinging, your ammo's always low, and the danger meter's screaming at you like it's late for work. Even in HD, it still smells like vintage PlayStation grit. Chunky armor bars, pixelated bad guys, and blocky explosions that still get your heart going. Now playable via modern storefronts and part of the PS Plus Premium Classics, this bioconspiracy spy thriller reminds us why taking down viruses with bullets is the most satisfying kind of science fiction. Tekken 2. There's nothing like a father-son feud that involves demon genetics, spin kicks, and tossing each other off cliffs like it's family tradition. Welcome to the second Iron Fist tournament, where punches aren't just thrown, they're art. The roster's packed tighter than a sushi roll with 25 fighters, each showing off absurdly satisfying combos, weird fighting styles, and more personality than a late-night soap opera. Want to suplex a samurai, slap fight a bear, or just drop kick your way through existential daddy issues? This is your dojo. Gameplay swings hard with 4-button madness. Left and right punches and kicks rule your fingers as you juggle enemies in infinite stages that ignore silly things like walls. New features like attack reversals, chain throws, and the brutal team battle mode crank up the intensity while still letting you fight in a Bruce Lee fantasy playground. Survival mode will test your limits, while Time Attack dares you to be faster than caffeine on Monday. Now available for modern consoles, including a glorious slot on the PS Plus Classics catalog, this fighter's still got the juice. The graphics may be blocky, but the impact is all killer. No filler, all fury, and a soundtrack that slaps harder than a 10-hit combo. Doom 64. What starts with a dusty satellite ping and ends with a one-man crusade in hell sounds like a regular Tuesday for the universe's angriest space marine. This time, he's not just smashing demons, he's erasing them from existence with a hell-forged laser cannon known as the Unmaker. It's bloodier, moodier, and more atmospheric than its older brothers, trading metal riffs for ambient dread and shoving you into some of the nastiest trap-laden corridors ever designed. The gameplay slaps you into 32 levels, including secret ones, full of demonic jump scares, pixelated gore, and an arsenal that's been lovingly reskinned to look meaner than ever. The super shotgun still hits like a truck, the plasma rifle crackles with menace, and the chainsaw now has 2 blades, because one just wasn't enough, apparently. What really sets this nightmare apart is the shadowy art style and dynamic lighting, which cranks up the tension like Doom met a horror film. And thanks to the remastered edition, you can now blast demons in glorious HD on your PS4 or PS5, complete with the previously lost levels and expanded lore that ties into the modern Doom timeline. Welcome back to hell. Vacation's over. Sengoku 2. Time travel really hits different when you're slashing demons on horseback in feudal Japan one minute and fist-fighting undead samurai in a crumbling modern city the next. 2 warriors, with names that sound like action movie extras, are once again yanked across centuries to stop an evil warlord who somehow got his hands on a time machine and way too much ambition. Their mission? Punch history in the face until the timeline stops freaking out. Gameplay swings in with fast-paced, side-scrolling brawls, where your default sword is basically a time-splitting cheat code. You're always armed, always stylish, and occasionally riding a horse like a hack-and-slash Clint Eastwood. One button turns you into a snarling wolf knight, a spinning shuriken ninja, or a flying goblin demigod with a staff. It's like a feudal Power Rangers moment every time. Blocking, dodging, and unleashing your ultimate move feels smooth even decades later. Now lovingly ported over as part of the ACA Neo Geo collection for PS4 and PS5, this beat-em-up still packs a katana-sized punch with its supernatural flair, slick pixel art, and bizarre plot that reads like someone spiked a history book with energy drinks. Samurai never go out of style. Omen Legacy of Kain. Getting stabbed in a rainy tavern is bad enough. Waking up as a vampire with a thirst for blood and revenge? Now that's a career pivot. You step into the crimson-lined boots of a murdered nobleman resurrected in a decaying world where sorcerers have gone mad, the gods are silent, and the cure for vampirism might just be wholesale annihilation. Think you're a hero? You're a philosophical bloodsucker who feeds off peasants between philosophical monologues. Blood is both your lifeline and your dinner. Need health? Slurp a monk. Need magic? Sip some spectral goo. Accidentally drain a demon's green blood? Good luck with the stomach cramps. You'll unlock an armory of cursed weapons and armor, wield ancient spells that manipulate minds and summon storms, and shapeshift into a bat, a wolf, or even a cloud of mist just to sneak past doors like a stylish creep. Now available digitally via GOG and made compatible with modern PCs, this vampiric saga offers a heavy, story-rich throwback that still oozes gothic charm and unapologetic 90s edge.
Get down! We got trouble! Vested in me.
Cabin free!
No! I love a good wet. Let's get this party fired up.
Pursuit Force Extreme Justice. You might think you're a cop here, but you're basically a human cannonball in a leather jacket who treats the laws of physics like vague suggestions. One minute you're proposing at a wedding, and the next you're leaping from a speeding jet ski onto a criminal hovercraft, dual-wielding pistols, and shouting justice at explosions. This over-the-top arcade shooter is like on rocket fuel. Whether you're in a car chase, a rail shooter sequence, or mid-air brawl on a helicopter. You're always the loudest thing in the zip code. Gameplay is split into heart-racing segments that hop between on-foot shootouts, high-speed vehicle hijackings, turret sections, and classic third-person gunplay. You can literally jump from your vehicle onto a villain's car, shoot everyone inside like an action movie stunt double, and then take the wheel like nothing happened. The Justice Meter rewards stylish takedowns with screen-melting power-ups, health boosts, and rage-fueled super moves. Now part of the PS Classics lineup, it returns to PS4 and PS5 in all its chaotic glory. The story may be wild, featuring a fascist Viper squad, mole hunts, nukes, and wedding day drive-bys. But who needs realism when you've got airborne law enforcement? Justice has never been this extreme. Ultracore. Resurrecting a canceled 90s game is like Frankenstein in a VHS tape with a soldering iron and pure nostalgia. But this side-scrolling beast pulls it off with explosive flair. Originally lost in the great 16-bit graveyard due to the rise of the PlayStation era, this action-packed relic rose from the dead thanks to some retro rebels with a Sega dev kit and unfinished dreams. Expect fast-paced blasting, slick weapon upgrades, tricky platforming sections, and a synth-laced soundtrack that sounds like it was composed in a neon-lit basement full of Mountain Dew and CRT monitors. The level design is tight and brutal in that old-school get-good-or-die trying kind of way. And the enemies? They swarm like angry Roombas on overdrive. Thanks to strictly limited games and a small crew of passionate developers, including DICE OGs, this project was completed and beautifully ported to modern systems. Now available on PS4 and PS5, it delivers a taste of what could have been back in 1994. Only now it runs buttery smooth, looks sharper than ever, and feels like a shotgun blast of pure 16-bit adrenaline.
It is coming! It is coming!
Toy Story 2: Buzz Lightyear to the rescue. Being a toy has never looked this epic. You've got 15 levels of platforming chaos, laser zapping mayhem, and enough Pizza Planet tokens to put Chuck E. Cheese out of business. You take control of everyone's favorite space ranger on a rescue mission that turns your neighbor's yard into a war zone, an Owl's toy barn into a full-blown boss arena. Because when Woody gets kidnapped, Buzz doesn't just go to infinity and beyond, he triple jumps there with style. Gameplay is classic 90s 3D platforming bliss. Collect tokens, race other toys, solve puzzles, and take down bosses with wrist lasers and spin attacks that would make Crash Bandicoot jealous. Levels are creatively designed around key scenes from the movie, but the real magic is in the gadgets. Hover boots, grappling hooks, rocket boosts, and homing discs make each area feel fresh, especially when you're dodging toy-sized hazards like rolling marbles and angry boxes. Re-released on PS4 and PS5 with retro love, this action-packed adventure still holds up better than a plastic cowboy. Whether you're stomping switches or charging lasers, it's a must-play for anyone who ever imagined their action figures had after-hours adventures.
Why did they build this crud? Now I like Precursor orbs and power cells as much as the next guy. But if you ask me, they must have been real losers. Wow! How did you do that?
Jak and Daxter: The Precursor Legacy. Though it starts as a casual island trip, ends with your best friend turned into a sarcastic weasel otter hybrid and a mission to stop a dark eco-apocalypse. Typical weekend stuff, right? You'll guide a silent protagonist with gravity-defying jumps, a wild hairdo, and a deep, destiny-fueled connection to the world's life energy. With a wisecracking sidekick on your shoulder, your job is to collect power cells, punch lurkers into next week, and absorb enough eco to glow like a mythological light bulb. Gameplay is seamless and open, a wild technical flex for its time, with zero load screens as you bounce from volcanic craters to misty ruins, all while chasing the corrupted sages behind the rising tide of darkness. Each area offers platforming challenges, minigames, and fetch quests that somehow don't feel like chores, thanks to tight controls and that magical Naughty Dog polish. Blue Eco makes you zip around like Sonic on espresso, Red Eco gives your punches roid rage, and Yellow Eco turns you into a turret with legs. Now remastered for modern consoles, it looks cleaner but still carries that early 2000s charm like a badge of honor. Whether you're in it for the nostalgia or the genuinely sharp gameplay, this one still shines like a freshly cracked Precursor orb. And there you have it, proof that retro games aren't just old, they're vintage, baby. These pixelated powerhouses have survived console wars, disc rot, and the terrifying rise of microtransactions to remind us that gameplay is king, even if the graphics are square enough to cut glass. These titles are living proof that great design never ages. It just reloads on newer hardware. So, go ahead, hit download, slap on your nostalgia goggles, and let your PS5 take you on a tour of the greatest hits from gaming's golden years.
Not even revenge.